My daughter was 9 months old when the bed started moving. She's 3 now and still won't sleep in the dark. This happened in our house in Portland, Oregon. We'd bought it in May 2021. First-time home buyers, got a good deal because it needed work. The realtor mentioned it had been on the market for a while, said the previous owners moved out of state for work. Seemed legit. It was a 1960s split level. 3 bedrooms, decent yard, needed some updating, but nothing major. My wife Rachel was pregnant when we bought it, and Emma was born that September. I'm a graphic designer, work from home mostly. Rachel teaches 3rd grade. Normal people, normal jobs, normal life. Everything was fine the first few months. We were exhausted from having a newborn. I've never been so tired in my entire life. I'm talking falling asleep while brushing your teeth tired. But Emma was a pretty easy baby. Slept okay, didn't cry too much, hit all her milestones. Around January 2022, when Emma was about 4 months old, Rachel started mentioning weird stuff. She'd be feeding Emma in the nursery and hear sounds from the attic, like someone walking around up there. I checked it out. Nothing but insulation and some old boxes the previous owners left behind. I figured it was squirrels or roof settling. Then Emma's toys started going off by themselves. You know those baby toys that play music when you press buttons? Emma had this little piano thing that played Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and animal sounds. Middle of the night, 2 or 3 a.m., we'd hear it start playing from her room. I'd go check and Emma would be sound asleep. The toy would be sitting on the floor, lights flashing. Rachel thought maybe the batteries were dying and causing it to malfunction. We took the batteries out. It happened again the next night. No batteries. Still playing. We threw it away. Got rid of all the electronic toys, actually. Just gave Emma wooden blocks and cloth books, the old-fashioned stuff that can't randomly turn on. Things got quiet for a few weeks after that. Then in March, Emma started doing this thing where she'd wake up screaming. Not normal baby crying, full-on terrified screaming. We'd rush in, and she'd be sitting up in her crib, staring at the ceiling above her crib, just shrieking. Our pediatrician said night terrors, totally normal for her age. She'd grow out of it. But it was every single night, same time, 3:17 a.m. I know because I started checking the clock every time it happened. One night, I was sitting in the rocking chair in Emma's room, trying to get her back to sleep after one of these episodes. Rachel had to work early, so I'd taken the night shift. I was half asleep. Emma was finally drowsy in my arms when I felt it. The rocking chair moved, not because I was rocking it. It rocked backward on its own, hard, like someone had shoved it from behind. I jerked awake and looked around. Nobody there. Emma started crying again. I told Rachel the next morning. She said I probably dozed off and startled myself awake. Maybe. I don't know. The real problem started in May. Emma was 9 months old, pulling herself up on furniture, almost walking. We'd put her to bed around 7:30 p.m. like always. Rachel and I were downstairs watching TV. I think we were binging The Office for the millionth time because we're those people. Around 9 p.m., we heard a crash from upstairs. We ran up to Emma's room and the crib had moved. Like actually moved across the floor. It was sitting about 3 feet from where we'd put it, shoved into the corner of the room. Emma was screaming. Rachel picked her up and I checked the crib. The wheels were locked. There's no way it could have rolled on its own, and even if it could, it wouldn't have moved in a straight line directly into the corner. Maybe she rocked it somehow, Rachel said. Emma was 9 months old and maybe 20 pounds. She couldn't move a crib. We moved it back. Went to bed that night uneasy, but trying to rationalize it. The next night, same thing. Crash around 9 p.m. Crib moved to the same corner. Third night, I decided to watch. I put Emma to bed, kissed her goodnight, and sat in the hallway with the nursery door cracked open. Just sat there in the dark, watching. 9:03 p.m., the crib started moving. I'm not exaggerating. I watched it slide across the floor like someone was pushing it. Smooth and steady, directly into that corner. The wheels weren't even touching the ground. The whole thing was just gliding. I ran in, and it stopped immediately. Emma was crying, standing up in the crib, reaching for me. I grabbed her and we went downstairs. Told Rachel we needed to sleep somewhere else that night. We put Emma in our bed and I stayed up all night. Rachel fell asleep, but I couldn't. I kept expecting to hear something from upstairs. The next day I called my dad. He's pretty religious, goes to church every Sunday, knows people. I asked if he knew anyone who could come bless the house or whatever you do for this stuff. He gave me the number for his priest. Father Mike, nice guy, probably in his 50s. I called and explained what was happening. He came over that afternoon, walked through the whole house with holy water and prayers, spent extra time in Emma's room. When he was done, he said the house felt heavy, but he'd blessed it and we should be fine. That night was quiet. No crib moving. Emma slept through the night for the first time in weeks. We thought it was over. It wasn't. A week later, Rachel woke me up at 2 a.m. She was shaking me, whispering my name. "The bed's moving," she said. I was confused, still half asleep. "What?" "Our bed. It's moving." I laid there and felt it. A vibration, like the whole bed frame was shaking slightly. Then it got stronger. Not violent shaking, but like someone was rhythmically pushing the bed. It would lift slightly on one side, then the other, back and forth. We got out of bed and stood there watching it happen. Then it lifted. The entire bed, mattress, frame, everything, lifted about a foot off the ground and hung there, just floated in the air. Rachel grabbed my arm and I could feel her nails digging in. We both just stood there frozen, watching our bed hover. Then it dropped, slammed back down with this massive bang that shook the floor. Emma started screaming from her room. We grabbed her and got out of the house. Didn't pack anything, didn't grab phones or wallets, just got in the car in our pajamas and drove to my parents' house. My dad called Father Mike again. He came to the house the next day. We wouldn't go in. We waited outside. And when he came back out, he looked shaken. "You need to leave," he said. "That's not something I can fix." We never slept in that house again. We hired movers to get our stuff out and put the house up for sale. Took a huge loss selling it so fast, but I didn't care. We disclosed everything to the realtor, figured we had to, legally. The family who bought it moved out after 3 months. Then it sat empty for almost a year. Then someone else bought it, lived there, maybe 6 months. It's on the market again right now. I checked Zillow last week. 4th sale in 3 years. I looked into the history. A woman died in that house in 1973. She drowned her baby in the bathtub and then hung herself in what's now Emma's room. I think about Emma's toys going off, the crib moving to that specific corner, the screaming at 3:17 a.m. I think something was trying to get to my daughter, and I think if we'd stayed, it would have. My mom bought the recliner at an estate sale in March 2018. I was 17, finishing up junior year, and she just redecorated the living room after my dad moved out. They'd been divorced for about a year, and she was doing that whole new life, new look thing. I should mention my mom's obsessed with estate sales. Every Saturday morning, she's up at 6 a.m. checking online listings, making a route. She loves finding deals on furniture and old kitchen stuff. It's kind of her thing. This particular sale was in Bloomington, Indiana. maybe 20 minutes from our house. Big old Victorian, the kind with like 5 bedrooms and a wraparound porch. The owner had died. I think my mom said she was in her 90s, no family, everything had to go. The recliner was in the upstairs bedroom. Brown leather, kind of worn, but still in decent shape. The estate sale lady said it was probably from the 70s based on the style. Mom haggled her down to $40 and we loaded it into our SUV. It fit perfect in our living room, right by the window where my dad's old chair used to be. I didn't sit in it much at first. It was Mom's chair, you know. She'd curl up in it every night after dinner and watch her reality shows. She was really into The Bachelor that year, would text her friends commentary during every episode. But one night in late April, I remember because it was right before finals and I'd been up studying until like 2 a.m., I decided to crash in the recliner instead of going upstairs to bed. I was too tired to climb the stairs and the chair looked comfortable. I must have fallen asleep within minutes. I woke up. I don't know how much time had passed, maybe an hour, and something was wrong. The room felt different, heavier, like the air pressure had changed. I opened my eyes, and there was a woman standing in front of the chair. She was old, really old, wearing this faded floral nightgown, and her hair was completely white, hanging loose around her shoulders. But her eyes were completely black. Not the pupils, the entire eye. Just solid black. She was smiling at me. Not a nice smile. This was wrong. Too wide. Her lips pulled back, showing all her teeth. I tried to move and couldn't. My whole body was locked. I could breathe, I could blink, but I couldn't move anything else. She leaned down, getting closer to my face. I could smell her, this awful combination of perfume and something rotting, like meat that's gone bad. "You're in my chair," she whispered. Her voice didn't sound human. It was layered, like multiple voices speaking at the same time. Then she reached out and touched my forehead with one finger. Everything went black. When I woke up, it was morning, sunlight coming through the windows. My mom was making coffee in the kitchen. I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. Every muscle ached. My head was pounding. "Did you sleep in the chair?" Mom called from the kitchen. "Yeah," I managed to say. My throat felt raw, like I'd been screaming. I didn't tell her what happened. Figured it was a nightmare. Stress from finals, lack of sleep, my brain playing tricks. But 2 nights later, my mom started screaming around 3 a.m. I ran downstairs and she was standing in the middle of the living room, shaking, pointing at the recliner. "There was a woman," she said. "There was a woman in the chair." My blood went cold. "What did she look like?" Mom described her. Old woman, white hair, floral nightgown, black eyes, the exact same thing I'd seen. "She touched my face," Mom said, and that's when I noticed the mark on her forehead. Like a bruise, right where the old woman had touched me. I ran to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. I had the same mark. We got rid of the chair that day, put it out by the curb with a free sign. It was gone within an hour, but the marks didn't fade. Mine took 3 weeks to go away completely. Mom's took longer, almost a month. I looked up the address of that estate sale, found the obituary for the woman who'd lived there. Eleanor Pritchard, died March 12th, 2018, at age 94. In the obituary photo, she was younger, maybe in her 60s, but I recognized her face. She died in that house, in her bedroom, sitting in her favorite recliner. The funeral home said she'd been dead for almost 4 days before anyone found her. I think about whoever took that chair from our curb. Wonder if they still have it. Wonder if Eleanor visits them too. Wonder if she's still sitting in it, somewhere, waiting for someone to fall asleep. I worked overnight stock crew at Wegmans for about 8 months. This was 2021, right in the middle of COVID, when a lot of places were doing overnight stocking so they could deep clean during the day. The shift was 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., me and usually 4 or 5 other people, unloading trucks, stocking shelves, facing products. Pretty simple work, decent pay for what it was, and I like not having to deal with customers. My second week there, I met Marcus. He was already stocking the cereal aisle when I got there around 11:30. I was running late because my car wouldn't start and I had to get my roommate to jump it. Marcus was probably mid-30s, wearing the standard Wegmans polo and khakis. He had earbuds in and was just methodically putting boxes on shelves. "You knew?" he asked when he saw me. "Yeah, second week. I'm Jake." He showed me how they wanted the shelves organized, how to use the box cutter safely. I'd already cut myself twice being stupid, and where to find the pricing gun when you needed to check something. Really helpful dude. After that, we worked the same section most nights, grocery aisles mostly. Cereal, pasta, canned goods, that kind of stuff. We'd talk while we worked. He told me he'd been doing overnight stock for like 10 years, bounced around between a few different stores, had a wife and 2 kids, lived over in the suburbs. Marcus was into anime, like really into it. We'd have these long conversations about different shows. He was trying to get me to watch Attack on Titan, kept saying it was the best thing ever made. I was more of a casual anime watcher, like I'd seen the popular stuff but wasn't deep into it. He'd bring Monster Energy drinks every night. The white ones, I forget what flavor that is, would always offer me one and I'd always say, "No thanks, because I hate Monster. Tastes like battery acid to me," but I appreciated. This went on for probably 3 months. We'd work together Tuesday through Saturday nights, talk about shows and movies and normal life stuff. He mentioned his daughter was applying to colleges, his son was getting into basketball. Regular conversation. One thing I noticed, Marcus never went on break with everyone else. We got 2 15s and a 30-minute lunch. Everyone would go to the break room together around 3 a.m., but Marcus would always say he'd already eaten or he wanted to finish up his section first. I figured he just wanted to stay in his zone. Some people are like that. Another thing, I never saw Marcus when I clocked in or out. The time clock was right by the employee entrance. I'd clock in, he'd already be on the floor working. I'd clock out, he'd still be stocking somewhere. I just assumed he showed up early and left late. Then, one Saturday, this was probably early October, I came in and Marcus wasn't there. I asked this girl, Jessica, who worked the frozen section, if she'd seen Marcus. She looked confused. "Who's Marcus?" "Marcus. Tall black guy. Always stocks grocery with me." "I don't know a Marcus. How long's he worked here?" "I don't know. Like 10 years, he said." Jessica had worked at that Wegmans for 3 years and said she'd never seen anyone matching that description. I thought maybe she just worked different sections and didn't know everyone, so I asked my supervisor the next week, "Hey, is Marcus here tonight?" My supervisor, this older woman named Denise, looked at her clipboard. "Marcus who? What's his last name?" "I don't know his last name. He stocks grocery, mid-30s, black guy, really into anime." She shook her head. "We don't have anyone named Marcus on overnight crew. Never have since I've been here." That's when I started feeling weird. I went to check the schedule posted in the back. Looked at every name. No Marcus. Went through the employee photos on the wall. Wegmans does this thing where they post photos of all the staff. No Marcus. That night I saw him again, stocking cereal like always, earbuds in. "Marcus," I said. He looked up, smiled. "What's up?" "Where were you last week?" "Requested the night off. My daughter had this college thing. Why?" I didn't know what to say, so I just asked straight out, "Do you actually work here?" His smile faded. He pulled out his earbuds. What kind of question is that? Nobody knows who you are. You're not on the schedule. Your photo's not on the wall. Marcus was quiet for a long time. Then he said, What year is it? What? What year is it right now? October 2021. Marcus sat down right there in the middle of the aisle, put his head in his hands. I died, he said. Didn't I? I didn't know what to say to that. There was a guy, Marcus said, still not looking at me. During COVID, early days. He came in without a mask. I asked him to put one on. Store policy, you know? He got mad. We argued. He left. Came back an hour later and he trailed off. When? I asked. April 2020, parking lot. He was waiting by my car. I looked it up later that night. Found the news article. Marcus Delaney, 34, killed in parking lot altercation at Wegmans on April 18th, 2020. The suspect was arrested, manslaughter charges. I showed the article to Denise the next day. She went pale. Oh my God, I remember when that happened. I was working days back then. Marcus was one of the overnight stalkers. That night I went in and Marcus was there, stalking cereal. I walked up to him, showed him the article on my phone. He looked at it for a long time. I have kids, he said quietly. I remember having kids. You did. You do. I didn't know how to finish that sentence. Marcus set down the box he was holding. Am I stuck here? I don't know. He looked around at the store, the fluorescent lights, the endless aisles, the empty space. I've been stocking these same shelves for 18 months, he said. And I didn't even know I was dead. That was the last time I saw him. I kept working there for a few more months, but Marcus never showed up again. I'd walk past the cereal aisle and remember our conversations about anime and energy drinks and his daughter's college plans. I quit eventually. Not because of Marcus exactly, just needed something different. But sometimes I wonder if he's still there, if he figured out how to leave, or if he's stuck in some kind of loop, showing up every night to stock shelves, helping new employees, drinking Monster energy drinks. Or maybe once he knew he was dead, he could finally go somewhere else. I really hope it's that one.